Cheryl is with me here in the studio. I appreciate you being here so very much. Actress, director, producer, comedian, best known for, of course, 24 years as Cheryl David on HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm. When you in the book, you said 24 years. I was like, oh my God. I still think of Curb Your Enthusiasm as this new show that Larry David was doing after Seinfeld.
I know.
It's so weird that it was like a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
All right, 2 Emmy nominations. Also RV, Waitress, Bad Moms Christmas, Walk of Fame star, and now author, Unscripted. And we're going to get into this. This is now my camera. So this is where we're going. And this is what you need to read. It's a really fun read. I'm sure people are telling you that, right?
I have had a lot of people say, I started reading it and I just kept reading because I didn't want to stop.
It's fun and it's good. Fun. And well, let's just start with it. Yeah. So you're an improvisational comedian, really, by training, the groundings.
Yes.
And Lisa Kudrow was your first teacher. Yeah. Did you have any sense of that she was going to be who she became?
Well, she was already on Mad About You at the time.
Who remembers that, though? I don't remember. You said that. I was like, I didn't remember that.
I don't remember the show.
Yeah. No, I remember the show. I just didn't remember that she was on it.
Oh, no, because she didn't have a big role. She was a waitress or something. Right. And so, no, I had no idea she would go on to be such a huge star, but she definitely had that star power. I write in the book that I couldn't wait to go to class.
Yeah.
Because she's so smart.
Yeah,
and
you looked up to her a lot.
Yeah, and I just watched her every move, I just loved her.
I'm jumping around in my head about so many things about your story. And you grew up in a small town in Florida. This was not a familiar world for your family.
No.
Or you. And several times during the book, you're saying out loud, like, what the hell's happening here? What is going on?
Yeah.
I'm with these stars and they know who I am. And what is this? It's a weird thing about television in particular, because it's so ubiquitous. It's so, you're just being you and you're practicing what you want to practice. All of a sudden it's all over the world.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it is really weird. I mean, and even when I got Curb Your Enthusiasm and my name is Cheryl David on the show. So when I started...
you invented that.
Well, he did. He said, can we just use your name?
Okay.
And I said, yes. Yeah. But, when people started recognizing me from the show, it wasn't clear to me that that's what they knew me from. Because it would just say, hi, Cheryl. So I would think, oh, hi. How do I know you? And then they would ask me about Larry and I'd say, oh, okay, right. I got it.
Well, you speculate in here, you ruminate a little bit about what was it? Why? I forget what you were thinking in the book. It was sort of like, why do people relate to it so much or something?
Yes.
But there was a definite feeling that you were Larry's wife. It was something that you two created that when there was a divorce, we all kind of felt it. It's kind of, but it was like, that's Larry David's wife. And that's that.
Yeah.
And because it was so genuine, the improvisational, whatever you guys were pulling on, there was something that was real there.
Yes.
And we all felt it. We all saw it.
Yeah. Well, that makes me feel good. It's funny because I talk about it too, that Larry wanted, he was looking for an unknown actress at the time to play his wife because the show was blurring the line, right, of reality, because he had people like Richard Lewis, who's a real person. Everybody knew who he was. Jerry Seinfeld. So he had real people in the show and who were playing themselves. So he wanted to cast somebody, an unfamiliar face, so they wouldn't say, oh, that's Lisa Kudrow, I know who she is.
Right.
But to cast somebody they didn't know, to say, well, I guess that's his wife. I don't know.
Right.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yes.
It's really Jerry Seinfeld, so I guess that's his wife. So a lot of people for a long time thought I was married to Larry.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure there are people out there that think that I was married to Larry.
Still.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And are mad at you for divorcing.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm jumping around a lot because I had a lot of reactions to your book. I got to tell you something.
Oh my gosh. I want to hear everything.
I'm going to try, look at all the dog ears in here.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I love it so much.
So, but one of the things that kills me, there's several things in there that kind of, something I've got some questions about and some things that killed me, right? Like you had a lot of loss. Yeah. And you sort of gloss over it a bit with a smile, like, it was there was a time when you couldn't get out of bed, I understand, and that was real. Yeah. But you still feel like your perfectionism kind of won over, right? You just kept going.
Yeah.
But there was like big time loss.
Yeah. Yes, and it's hard to know, other people's experiences, but
see here you're gonna minimize your own experience.
Okay, yeah. I have had a lot of loss.
And let me. Yeah. I don't want to make you talk about something you don't want to talk about, because I feel like I'm doing that.
No. Listen, I am very I'm very interested in grief and grieving, and it's there's something about me that even when I was in high school, I was interested in it. I was interested in death and dying.
Is that why you read Kubler-Ross? It was all the way back then?
Yeah.
Because that's when I read it. It was about that era. Yeah.
And it struck me, and it stayed with me. And then, when I did experience loss in my own life, and in my life, I should say, it was helpful to know that other people experience it too. And to know it's debilitating. I mean, and I think it's Kubler-Ross who says, don't make decisions when you're hit with grief. If you lose somebody very close to you, it's okay to be depressed. It's your body telling you to stay in bed. Let yourself be depressed. Don't make big decisions. You're not in a place to. So that was, you're right. For me, that was hard, because I'm not the kind of person that stays in bed.
No, I see that. You would not, but I was surprised you did.
Well, I was really trying to study my way out of grief, which isn't, it's helpful, but that's not how it works, is it? I really wanted to know a timeline.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, and Kubler-Ross sort of suggests that there's stuff like that. And by the way, you end the book with a Kubler-Ross quote, which was something I didn't remember, but it was beautiful. I was like, wow, that came from her. But I don't know if your brain works like mine does. And do you have OCD too? Are you a little bit OCD?
No, not really, no.
But you're perfectionistic.
For some things.
I see.
But not for others. Like I could walk over a pile of dirty clothes for 4 days. I'm fine.
But my thing is I need to understand things before I can kind of walk into it emotionally. Is that what was happening to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I can definitely. I want to know what I'm in for.
And so Paul, your ex-husband.
Yeah. Paul Young.
Bipolar disorder.
No.
Right? Is he the one?
No.
Are you getting confused on the Pauls?
Yes. I have two. There are two Pauls that I talk about in my book. There's one Paul Beckett, who was, my best friend.
Okay.
And he wasn't diagnosed with bipolar.
You described it quite
really
accurately. Yes. Oh.
So I couldn't tell,
But we don't know, is it drug induced or was it just endogenous or whatever? Was that one manic outbreak with the post-its everywhere? Yeah. That was mania, for sure.
That was mania.
Yeah.
That was after he...
On the other side.
Yeah. That was, so my best friend... and I guess you're right. I guess we don't give away too much of the book. I don't know. But...
we can stop there if you want.
No. I mean, listen, I actually like to talk about it.
But it does give away a little important piece.
Yeah.
Let's not do it. Let's let them go read about it. Because you talk about it quite vividly in the book. So it's all there.
Yeah. That really... Paul Beckett really stays with people. People who have read the book, they really talk about him. It's
pretty shocking. It was, even me dealing with that condition from all sorts of contexts. Even I was like, oh, wow,
yeah,
wow. And you set it up well too. Like I'm not going to tell you more, but in terms of everyone was being very, very careful.
Yes,
and either the doctors or the hospital are being very careful, and then. Boom. Yeah. That's the dangerous part about stuff like that. When people decide that kind of thing, they don't tell you. They don't. Yeah. That's the hard part.
I know. That's what my therapist told me.
But Paul, the other Paul.
Yes.
That was the other question I had.
Yes.
I couldn't tell why that broke up.
You know what is so funny? I just talked to Adam Carolla. He said the same thing. That's so funny.
Did he read the book? We listened to it. Is it on audio tape?
It is on audio. It hasn't been released yet, but I don't
He
know that.
doesn't read. If he
I
read
was
your
about
book.
to say, I don't know that Adam read the book, but we were talking about work, and I said, I'm actually working with my ex-husband right now. We're producing a film together.
Yeah.
And he said, why are you working with your ex-husband?
Yeah.
I said, well, we really like each other.
We just watched a Woody Allen film, old Woody Allen film called Hollywood Stories or something. What was it called? Where he's producing a movie. He's directing a movie. She's producing it, his ex-wife.
That's so funny. Well, yeah. So Adam was just, he said, why would you work with your ex-husband? I said, I really like him. He's a good guy. You know, we get along, we have fun. And he said, why did you ever get divorced?
Yeah.
But I was telling him that, you know, Paul Young and I, and we both changed probably since, but at the time we were married for 7 years, and he approaches life with a more different kind of intensity, sort of like that's what propels him forward. He does contract negotiations, and he feels like it's a good negotiation if both sides are mad at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fine being the person to, you know, make everybody mad. And I approach things more with okay, well, what are we going to do about this? Maybe it's not as bad as we think. Doesn't go over well sometimes with people. And, you know, like, let's look at the glass half full. So when you have those two attitudes where it's like, no, I need to stay mad for a little while because I'm in this negotiation and I need to stay mad at this person until it's done. To me, that, you know, it gets difficult if somebody's, you know, charged up all the time. And I'm always like, let's approach it in a calmer.
The anger. You don't like all the anger.
Yeah, if you would have, yes.
He
wasn't angry all the time, but at the time, it didn't seem like he was quick to want to move out of that space. And you know,
hard to live with that.
Yeah, and knowing what I know about myself now, I mean, one might say I have anger issues, just my relationship with it. Like, I'd rather not bother it. You know, I'm not quick to get angry.
Do you shut down when people are angry, or do you just avoid conflict?
When other people are angry?
Yeah. Or do you,
I listen. You know, I listen. But I'm solution oriented.
Yeah.
And that's not always helpful when somebody's angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that I'm telling you about these
all
things.
Good. I like it. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about Bobby now. I want to see what the chat world is asking about you, see if there's anything in there before I go on.
Okay.
And I do want to talk about Larry too. But that's where we're going to focus our time here. And in terms of Bobby,
who loves Larry?
We were early Bobby supporters. Where's my camera? There we go.
No, I love that so much.
This was an early hat. I forget where I got it. And
the comedy show. The comedy show.
Is that the comedy thing? I met
show.
you for 2 seconds there.
Yeah.
And then this actually fits.
I love
that
Kennedy for president hat. I actually went to go vote, and I had to like type it in or whatever because I would
really in California
for the primaries.
Oh, primaries,
and I asked them how to do it.
She was a huge early
on for the primaries. I love that.
No, but she was like
she was on board.
All in.
And so I was like, how do you make this work? And they go, who are you going to vote for? I go, RFK Jr. They were like, wow, tell us more. So I told them like how great he was. And they go, we're going to vote for him too. And it was really cute because they were like, the other guys suck.
I love it. I love it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when he threw in with Trump, we were actually with Nicole filming a podcast.
Oh, you were?
Right at that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nicole Shanahan.
A lot of emotions.
Yeah. She was good that day. I mean, I guess
Great.
she had a lot that followed, but it is what
hard.
it is. I mean, Bobby told me that he's doing he had a superlative in terms of how he's describing the job of HHS secretary. And it was essentially, I'm not going to do it justice, it was essentially, this is the best job, this is perfect job for me and the best job I ever had, doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that to me, when somebody says something like that, it catches my ear.
Yes.
It wasn't like I really like the job. I was like, this is me doing my best the way I want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I feel that from him. And he does say that.
And are you out here now, or are you just moving around, or?
I'm in DC most of the time. I have a place out here. So if there's something that brings me here, I'm here. And
so you're back
otherwise,
and forth.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's big in the DOJ, and he used to be the city attorney in Huntington Beach, and he goes back and forth a lot.
It's a long flight.
It's hard.
It's a long flight.
Yeah. You get kind of a skill with it. But Larry David.
Yes.
So I'm a huge fan. I met him once. I did some crazy thing for what used to be TV Guide Channel, where he had us sit and analyze some episodes.
Oh my gosh.
And talk about Larry the character. And it was interesting to me that my sense of Larry the character was upsetting to Larry David. I thought he was a little, I didn't know the character that well at the time, and I was a little harsh in my
your assessment.
My assessment, and in terms of his narcissism and his stuff, and Larry was like, yeah, but he really didn't understand, and Larry's defending the character, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But you talk about what a dear man he was, what a great role it was, what a wonderful relationship you had.
Yeah.
I remember seeing somewhere footage of that last episode. I guess you got the whole cast is on a plane or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And at the wrap, you guys all,
stood up
and said, expressed. And then what followed kind of breaks my heart. And then Susan, I'm excited to bring you a new product, a new supplement, Fatty. I take it. I make Susan take it. My whole family takes it. This comes out of, believe it or not, dolphin research. The Navy maintains a fleet of dolphins, and a brilliant veterinarian recognized that these dolphins sometimes developed a syndrome identical to our Alzheimer's disease. Those dolphins were deficient in a particular fatty acid. She replaced the fatty acid, and they didn't get the Alzheimer's. Humans have the same issue, and we are more deficient in this particular fatty acid than ever before. And a simple replacement of this fatty acid called C15 will help us prevent these syndromes. It's published in a recent journal called Metabolites. It's a new nutritional C15, pentadecanoic acid it's called. The deficiency that we are developing for C15 creates something called the cellular fragility syndrome. This is the first nutritional deficiency syndrome to be discovered in 75 years and may be affecting us in many ways, and as many as 1 in 3 of us. This is an important breakthrough. Take advantage of it. Go to fatty15.com/Dr. Drew to receive 15% off a 90-day starter kit subscription, or use code Dr. Drew at checkout for that 15% off, or just go to our website, drdrew.com/fatty15. The wellness company knows that taking charge of your family's healthcare is a top priority, and being rationally ready, and who knows what the future will hold for us. Now, TWC has a service to cover your family's medical needs, including and especially prevention. For just $100 a month, the One Wellness Elite membership includes 2 free medical-grade nutraceuticals per month, free prescriptions for over 800 of the most common medications, access to concierge telemedicine, available at a moment's notice, and a 15% discount on all supplements and the emergency kits. 15% off the emergency kits. That's quite a saving. So if you're spending $100 or more on supplements and meds every month, this plan will already save you money. If you sign up for a year, you'll save $200. And when you use the link, drdrew.com/TWC, you'll get 10% off the first payment to the One Wellness Elite membership. Check out One Wellness at drdrew.com/TWC and get 10% off your first payment. drdrew.com/TWC. It's all there.
That's brilliant. And thank you, Drew. Where's Dr. Drew? Where is he? Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew.
I'm sure yours too, where Bobby's presidential run and his association with Trump somehow violated particularly Larry's sensibilities, I guess.
I mean, I would say, look, Larry has been very open and candid about his
DDS. His Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes. And his politics through the years. I mean, even Bobby and I were just talking about, the episode in Curb this was years back when Larry wore a MAGA hat to repel people in LA so nobody would ask him to go to lunch. And it was really funny when we were shooting it.
Yeah.
And then now looking back, I'm thinking, that is true. That would actually be true.
Out here.
But the rest of America thought it was funny because it seemed so like taking the idea and taking it to the next level. Like that doesn't really happen. And it's like, actually.
Out here would. Yeah.
Actually out here would. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard you on Heather McDonald, I guess just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Where she made a joke that I thought it was just a perfect metaphor, where she describes how Bobby Kennedy was the coolest guy in the world, and all of a sudden he's vilified. He's like the Tesla truck. He's like the truck was so cool. We all want the truck, and then all of a sudden we're graffitiing it. And do people not examine their motivation, their point of view, when they have these wild swings? And I mean, how could this person that you admire suddenly be so far south?
That's what doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense because Bobby has done such great work consistently in his career, always defending people and their health issues, because of environmental toxins.
Yeah.
So he's been doing that consistently. And then in one day, someone will say he's trying to kill everybody. It's like, that makes zero sense.
Right.
There's no indication. Everything you're saying does not make sense right now, but people do not want to, they can't think.
They're so emotional right now.
So blinded by their hatred of Donald Trump at times that they can't.
And I think Bobby was treading on sort of, I talked to Aaron Seary yesterday, and he talked about how vaccines have a religious quality around them, where there is a canon, and the canon is selected by the authorities. Yeah. And if you step on the canon, you're a sinner and you have to be burned at the stake, and all this stuff is just the way it is. And I think Bobby was treading on that territory, and he changed me the first time I talked to him. It was on this program. We were talking through the screen here, and he was in that. He did a lot of podcasts early on where he had in front of that bookshelf.
Yes. Yes.
So, that's always where he and I talked.
Yes.
And,
there's so many books that you're like, what am I looking at? Yeah. And then like a, weird skull in the back or something. And you're like, why do you have to leave that there? And he's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. All the books.
and he said to me at the end of the interview, and I just thought it was interesting. He changed my mind on a lot of things. It was very interesting and very engaging. And he goes, Drew, you're so courageous to talk to me. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, you'll see. This takes courage. And I was like, for a doctor and a lawyer that don't agree on everything, to share ideas and talk publicly, that requires courage.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a big problem here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it did require courage, and you did it. And, I love hearing you. I love hearing you talk about everything, but the vaccines, there's just facts. There are studies.
These are medicines. These are just these. There's even the idea that there's a good. I've had to say this for years when it comes to substance abuse. Like do you think marijuana is good? Do you think alcohol is good? No, I don't think any substances are good or bad. Yeah. I think they just are.
And they affect people.
And they affect people, and we should look at it and analyze it. It's good in certain circumstances and not great in other circumstances.
There's some consistency, how it affects people. So let's look at that. And then I can tell you this is how it affects people.
Well, and this is something that Bobby's been fighting for a long time, is to help people like me that practice medicine with informed consent. And I was telling Aaron that, when I have a lot of elderly patients, and some of them are way boosted, and I'm like, I wouldn't get in the way of that. And some of them, certainly during Alpha and Delta phase, I believe we really helped them with the vaccine. Mm-hmm. But now when they come to me and say, should I be boosted? I'm like, well, first of all, you're not going to be hospitalized for this illness anymore. I've got a lot of good treatment. I've got a lot of good stuff and molnupiravir and things. I got stuff I can use. So we're going to keep you out of the hospital. Don't worry about that. It's not going to prevent the illness. It's not going to prevent transmission of the illness. And it's designed to attack a variant that's no longer with us.
Right.
So I don't know how to advise you.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
I know.
So,
I know because for some people it's a I don't want to say psychological, but
it's a religious thing again.
Yeah,
and if it's important to you to feel safe and you want to do it, I would not get in the way of it. Please do. If you're a 20-year-old male, I would try to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
Because there's zero probability of serious illness and non-zero probability of a vaccine reaction.
Yeah.
So, but to say that again,
I don't know why that angers people. And you were just saying, here's what we found. This is the black and white of it. And somehow that will make you a bad guy to a lot of people. I don't know why.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, it's crazy.
and Susan,
crazy.
in the book, talk about crazy. There is a moment at Bobby's mother's funeral. Shocking. I did not know that happened.
Well, I wouldn't have put it in my book except that.
What happened?
We're going to talk about it.
I wouldn't have put it in my book except that was either, I reference it, it's either the New Yorker magazine, one of them, maybe the New York magazine. But they did an article about it. So, and
I'm guessing the article was a distortion?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because it was from unidentified sources.
Perfect.
So that's never, that's a shady sign. But I was there, so I saw it. I was in the front row, maybe second row. I saw it. But when Bobby's mother Ethel passed, she had a small memorial in Hyannisport, and then a larger one in Washington D.C.
And you had a real relationship with her.
I really loved her.
That's what I thought.
I really loved her. Mm-hmm. We got along so well. And Bobby was giving a eulogy. Just a little more backstory to it that you'll see in the book. But, and it's not a secret that a handful of his siblings spoke out against him against Bobby when he was running. And it's still, there's probably one or two that still do.
In very weird ways, by the way.
Very weird ways.
It was all.
I would be so curious to hear from a doctor.
I did not know what to make of it. I just knew it just didn't make sense.
Didn't make sense.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with your brother politically, that's okay.
Well, there was a lot of weird attack on his recovery and his characters. And that was the stuff I was like, well, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
I've seen his recovery. It's good.
Yes.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah. There's a lot more.
There's always this tendency, people in addiction do bad things, and we're going to hold that over them forever.
Yeah. Yes. There is that. And that's odd, isn't it? I mean,
it seemed gratuitous and self-serving.
Yes. And
I can say nasty things about it. These are you can't.
No, I can now. I don't care.
At Christmas,
I don't care anymore. I feel like some of them have been just so inappropriate, and I've been so disappointed that
Well, let's leave this as another cliffhanger. You're gonna have to read the book, so at least I'll at least lead you in that chapter. It's pretty shocking what a family member does.
Yeah,
and then the priest too was pissed me off a little bit.
I was beside myself.
Yeah.
I can't believe how the Kennedys have to take so much shit from everybody. I mean, I'm sorry, pardon my words, but it never ends.
Yeah, it's a name that gets people's attention.
That's got to be weird for you too, also, right? And I want to talk a little bit about Bobby. And even your description of him, he lives large.
Yes.
He fights yaks and he takes you on speedboats. And there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I wish you were more like that.
That's cut deep.
That hurt. That really hurt. We'll get you a speedboat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not going to be fighting any yaks if I can help it.
I was making a joke.
Not interested in it. But that's the drug addict stuff. A lot of that thrill seeking is just still in him, and he's got to control. You got to be careful so it doesn't spin out.
I know the risk taking. It's like you don't have to do. you don't have to do a flip off the cliff into the water. We don't even know what's down there. It's like, okay, watch me. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I worry about him.
Me, same.
Yeah. And another, who was telling me that they overheard him in an interview about his diet with the sauerkraut and steak,
Yes.
which I was kind of on that diet for a while too. That's a good diet.
Yeah,
Sauerkraut's
fermented
good for you.
vegetables. That's all he eats is meat and fermented vegetables. Yeah, because Katie Miller was asking me what happens when he goes out to eat.
Yeah.
And I said he will bring his own sauerkraut. and then he'll ask me, we'll be walking out the door and he'll say, "Can you put this in your bag?" I'm looking at my Chanel bag and I'm like, "No, I cannot."
And you smell like sauerkraut?
Yeah, I said, yeah.
Exactly what
That's
you
like a
want.
Larry David moment.
It is. There are a lot of those in our life. But I was like, if you would have asked me this, 30 minutes ago, I could have picked a different bag that I'd be okay with. But no, you have to carry your own sauerkraut.
Does he like caraway seeds?
Mm.
Put it in the sauerkraut. It's amazing. That's an old Czech recipe of my
Okay.
family. Yeah.
People ask me about my head again. What happened to it? I had cancer removed from here. It comes up on the thread once in a while. I'm getting more wound care tomorrow. So it's good times. Don't get old, bottom line.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
Stop here.
I'm very
Good.
ready to just stop.
Are there, I didn't hear in your book a lot of regrets.
I don't have a lot of regrets.
Yeah.
I really have very, very few. And, I think because I learned early on, you end up regretting things that you never did.
Mm.
So I like to say yes to things and do it. So 10 years from now, I don't sit here and say, I wonder if I would have driven across country to LA if I could have made it or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I wonder if I, could have climbed this mountain. I mean, I probably could have sat that one out, but
Well, I was going to say, Bobby took that next level for you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I suspect that the job that he has to do is far more difficult than certainly the average viewer, somebody, bystander like myself can imagine. I see the magnitude of what he's trying to navigate and trying to, he has a boss he's got to keep happy, and he's got a bureaucracy that he's trying to unravel or get the tiger by the tail.
Yes.
Is he still happy with the job and what's going on? Yeah.
Yes. And he's really liked putting his team together. So when you have some great doctors on your team and everybody's moving together to accomplish the same things, I mean, I know that he really likes that, and he really likes working with the president. And I mean, it's not a secret that the president is getting things done fast.
Yeah.
So I think that's also part of the excitement, because usually it's like a glacier moving, right? It's like the things don't get done.
Yes.
But because, this is the president's second term, and probably he had 4 years off to really think about what he would do and how he would do it if he got back in there.
Yeah.
He and Bobby work really, really well together.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Because does Bobby have like a secret list of accomplishments he wants to get done by the end? I should ask him that if I ever get back to see him. Does he have,
they're not that secret, actually.
Okay, so it's all.
So anything he's told you is I mean, that's his number one. He's doing. By the way, he's accomplished a lot already, but definitely vaccine safety is one that's a big one.
Like one of the things he and I really connected on was the adulteration of the publication process in medicine, the clinical.
Right. And he's made a lot of headway on that.
Well, but it was, I don't know if he thought of it or Bhattacharya thought of it, but Jay came up with this great idea, which is that we got to take down the importance of publishing in certain journals and elevate the importance of reproducing your studies. Mm-hmm. And only then does thing become citable. not just because it was in Nature or New England Journal, but because it's been reproduced 4 times. That's a good study.
That's good.
And that's a really interesting way of toning this all
Leveling the
down.
playing
Yeah,
field,
because Bobby was very concerned that we got to get the pharmaceutical industry out of the publicity. We got to look at how the editorial process has been adulterated and really maybe subjected to a RICO analysis. I mean, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And he might still do that. Maybe he'll still do that.
You don't know, but it is a lot about data. Is it data or data? Data. But looking at what has happened and how many times it happened and was there a problem with something, whether it was a drug or a vaccine or something. But if you have the data behind it, you can say, yes, this amount of people had this sort of reaction. So, I think that's one of his big goals.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a vaccine enthusiast. I mean, I was an absolutist, and Rob Schneider's a friend of mine. I used to go, Rob, come on.
Settle down, Rob.
These things have been important. But hepatitis B vaccine, I don't get that.
I don't
get it.
I
don't get COVID for kids. Thank God he got rid of that. There are things that are just nonsensical from a medical standpoint. And this idea that you can't bring into account a risk-reward analysis for every given intervention.
Well, right.
Is bizarre.
Right. That is bizarre. And why, I definitely think exactly what they're doing, going through, vaccine by vaccine, shot by shot. Do we still need this? Is this effective? Does it do more harm than good? And do people know exactly what the harm could be?
And should we be having mandates? 88 countries don't have mandates of any sort. 3 of 5 communist countries don't have mandates. China doesn't have mandates. Florida now is trying to get rid of the mandates. Thank God. Latipo is doing a great job there.
Yeah,
Still playing poker?
Yes. It's been a while. I did, but yeah, I went with my nephew and my sister not too long ago.
You mentioned Dana Duke. The Duke twins. Annie Duke.
Yeah.
I played poker with her once.
Yeah. She's good.
Was she?
Yeah, go.
Well, it was a big table with a bunch of people, with experts. I wish I could remember their names, and then some celebrity type thing. And I forget who got the hand across me that I was betting against, but Annie was sitting right here. And I had a full house, and she could see it. And there were 2 9s showing, and this guy was betting very aggressively. Mm-hmm. And I said, Annie, the only way that I'm going to lose this hand is if he has 2 9s also, and it's going to be 4 9s. And she's like, well, he might, but the right bet is to go all in, which I did. And it was 4 9s. And it was
but you did the right thing.
But then I read her book on that kind of analysis. What's the right thing? You may not end up right, but
what does the book say?
But what's the right bet?
Yeah.
Given what's there.
Right. What are the outs? So that was very small probability that he had 2 9s. But I played with Annie a few times too, and she is. You think that she's not, paying attention, and then she'll say, why did you just fold? You held on to 2 jacks, 3 hours ago, and I called you, and
it's like breathing to her.
Yeah.
It's like in her all the time.
She knows it all. She's been watching. She knows what you had. She knows what you folded. She knows what, and it's just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
That's the real deal stuff.
Yeah.
So here we are now. You've been through this incredible life. Really, and thank you for Curb. I have sons that are humongous fans.
That's so
I
funny.
had to tell one son that you were going to come in just because he would have killed me if I had not told him that because he could be.
What did he say?
He couldn't get here. He would have been here.
Oh, that's sweet.
And
you're nervine.
Yeah, these are. I don't know why that show struck such a chord with people. It really is something that people either and you were not as much of a fan. I'm going to be honest.
Only of Cheryl. The rest of them drove me nuts. They drove me nuts. It reminded me of our family too much. It just gave me anxiety.
It gave her anxiety, show I see.
Yeah, anxiety.
Gives you anxiety.
Yeah.
And I knew most of the people that were on the show. I didn't know Ted though, which is interesting.
Ted Danson.
And everybody just talks about how great he is.
He is.
Yeah. And it's everybody's great. I knew Jeff. I know.
Richard, they're all great.
It's all great. And Richard particularly, you do a nice job of describing him.
I love Richard.
Very sweet man.
It was hard too. I mean, he passed away during this. I don't think I added that in my book. Because I was like, oh gosh, another loss. But when Richard died, it really hit me.
You might look back at old episodes. You can see the Parkinson's coming on years ago. I mean, I could see it, and I was like, oh, it's like. And then I knew he had depression already because he used to talk to me about it. And those two together is a rough road.
Combination.
Yeah.
So. He was a very sweet soul. Such a sweet soul.
And funny as hell.
Yeah.
And I love that Larry loved him.
I love that Larry loved him too.
That was important. And was Jeff considered at the time when he was cast like you, someone who was not known, so to speak?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a question for...
Because he was not as
well known.
Yeah.
Right. So if you watched it, you might... if I watched it, I didn't know. I'd probably
And he was not really playing himself. Not really.
He wasn't really playing himself, no. But he, he said when he talks about Curb, he talks about sort of creating this idea with Larry, like
Jeff says that.
Yes, like you should do a special.
That's right. He was a producer.
He was a producer. He was a producer. So that he was probably. I'm sure that was a decision for him and Larry. Just like, I guess this would be a good character for me to play. And now that you say it.
And I love the way you describe the process where there's no script. It's just circumstance. It's a bad apple. Was that the first time? Was that the first?
Yes. We're shooting and it's all improvised. I didn't know what the show was about ever because I didn't have to see the outline. And Larry bites into an apple and he said, "This is mealy." I mean, the cameras are rolling, And I said, "Well, don't eat it." I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And then I'm thinking, when I was driving home, I'm thinking, is the mealy apple part of a storyline on the show? But it wasn't. It sure wasn't.
And then you blame yourself for being written off the show with the divorce. Why? I didn't quite get that.
Oh, because my friend Geraldine told me about she was on a plane. The landing gear was tracking not to work. And she called home and her husband, because they thought they were going to have a crash landing. Everybody's calling home to say goodbye. She called home to talk to her husband to tell him she loved him. And he said, I can't talk right now. I've been waiting for this technician all day. I'm going to have to call you back. So I thought it was so funny. And then when I told Larry about it, and the next thing I know, he's like, we're doing a show about that because that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the final straw and you're going to leave me because you're going to call home. I'm going to be with the TiVo guy. I'm not going to take your call. And you're going to be, that's going to do it.
But he doesn't say whether you continue on the show in some other, I don't remember how that went. Did you came back?
No, after we got divorced on the show, there was one season that I wasn't on at all. And then after that season, I came back as, his ex-wife.
And then Ted got involved with it.
And then Ted got involved.
Which is so funny.
Which is also funny because, Bobby has said before, because Bobby and Larry used to be really close friends.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That is shocking to me.
Yeah.
I felt like Larry dismissed Bobby during his presidential run.
He did.
Why?
Because he was not happy that somebody was running against Biden.
Oh, I see. So he's a purist.
Oh, yes, 100%.
So you got to be like him or the highway.
Well, he said, I support Bobby, but I don't support Bobby.
I did not know that they were friends. How did they become friends?
Geez, I don't even know.
Is that in the book? Did I just miss that entirely?
Well, it's in the book because that's how I met Bobby, through Larry.
But it was sort of through the show, wasn't it, or something?
It was a Bobby was having a Waterkeeper event.
Yeah.
So I just went with Larry and, just met Bobby in passing. It wasn't a big deal. But yeah, they were friends. And when it turned like, oh, something might be going on with me and Bobby sat down with Larry and said, are you okay if I date Cheryl?
And he's like, blessing.
My dad.
It was very
Dad
sweet.
for permission.
But then on Curb, Ted sort of did the same thing. He said, is it okay if I date Cheryl?
In the series. Yeah.
And Larry said, yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah.
And he did it anyway, So it was just art.
I remember that
dating.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a surprise to me that he could that people could be that way. And you had a podcast with someone who did that to you.
Yeah.
And I just...
It's hard because
I don't get it.
I don't know. People are,
It's got to be Trump derangement at its core. It has to be something in that zone.
Something that people feel like that my values are so represented by my politics. I think that's it, right? My values are so represented by my politics that if your politics are different, then that's telling me your values are different and we can't.
What do they even mean by that? Values is we all want people to thrive and do well. We just have different ideas about how to get there.
It's weird.
Or maybe different ideas about how to protect people or how to serve people. We all want the same thing.
We do. Well, that's why the vaccine conversation is strange.
Yes.
Because we all want the same thing. We all want our children to be healthy and happy. Yeah. We want each other to be healthy. So nobody's out to try to
cause you to vote for it.
But as soon as somebody says you're trying to make somebody sick, or back in COVID, you want to kill people.
Right.
It's like, that is such a profound distortion.
Right.
That's in you. There's something wrong with you.
If you're thinking that way, it is. And it goes back to the politics, right? So if someone's saying, I cannot have a relationship with you because of, who you're married to, it signals to me that, you wouldn't be able to have a relationship with your spouse if they did something you didn't like, or
I just hear the hatefulness. That's what I hear, is that you're looking for a reason to I don't know. It's a black and white thinking, all this or all that.
Yeah, black and white thinking.
It's a very pathological thing that people do, to go all this way, all that way. It's all good, all bad.
Yeah,
it goes back to something called a good mom, bad mom split that's in infancy. It's like this weird unhealed.
What does that mean? Good mom, bad mom split?
It's just, early on in development.
Like a baby thinks that about their
babies,
mom?
Mom's all good or all bad, all depriving, I'm crying, I need you, or it's all good when I get you. And some people stay with those splits. And they have.
You mean the mother feels like that?
No, the baby feels like that. The baby's all good, all bad. That's sort of a
like
normal.
In the moment.
It's normal. No,
they don't have
crying.
It carry over.
I'm crying. I'm crying because I need mom. And she's not meeting my needs, so therefore she's all bad. But when she comes in, she's all good. It's all perfect.
Okay.
This is perfect reunion.
Right.
And people with certain personality disorders and types can continue that their whole life.
I see.
And they think that about everybody. And they have trouble with object constancy. Like when somebody moves out of their field of vision, they can't even keep them in mind anymore.
Right.
It's just, we've had so much of this bullshit right now in this country.
Yeah.
It's really, I saw it coming. And I knew it was going to create scapegoating. And then it came, and I didn't know how it was going to come. I was still shocked by it.
Yeah.
And it's part of the same stuff.
Yes.
Kaleb,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's not good. It's a very pathological, and people need to know that they're engaging them.
They think that they're grasping for straws, like when they were voting for Biden, because it really was not a winning horse. It was not a good idea. But if we could just take the politics out of it and look at it as a business dealing. And say, who would you rather build a building with, Biden or Trump? Who would you rather, do this with, Biden? You know what I mean? Who would be the best person to get things done? And I would put my politics aside, and even though I didn't agree on, I think so.
Okay,
I don't have my ear thing on because of my surgery. But I see Bobby working with Trump because he sees a future.
Yeah, he wants to solve problems.
Good business.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's right, left, middle, because, he was a Democrat. I was a Democrat. I voted for Obama, and I didn't vote for Trump the first time. And I did the second time because obviously Bobby wasn't available at that point. But
no, because Bobby threw in. That's why you went in.
Yeah. Well, I heard about it, but I honestly think it's a business deal, and people need to take their politics out of it. Because we need to build a safe world. Yeah. We need to stop these wars. We need to stop this China threat that people don't realize. We had warfare on us with that leak of COVID-19. But we never did anything about it. We have to protect ourselves as a country.
And we're live.
Okay, we're back. Kaleb, you had sorry about that. Explain what happened and then ask your question.
I think you guys were talking about China, and the moment you started talking about the CCP, then all of a sudden, I literally, doing nothing, got a blue screen of death on my computer on this whole streaming PC. Gosh. It's pretty ridiculous.
And there have been attacks on the satellite systems, right?
Oh, yes.
Amazon
I mean,
Google,
yesterday, both Amazon and Microsoft Cloud went down at the same time.
Are we back on Twitter? Is it just...
If it's not, I have a full recording of the episode, so we'll upload that and get that all figured out.
We're on Rumble. I think we're back on YouTube. Somebody give me a shout out if you can see us.
But not on X, apparently.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I might have to upload this ending part after because it's just. Okay. I'm looking at the
too much.
Yeah, there's.
So we're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. I don't think we're on X though. I think X. I just tweeted, we said the word China on the show, and the show crashed. We'll be back.
So, Kaleb, you have a question?
Yes.
For Cheryl.
So, Cheryl, this is my question, actually. So, I really love how you handle the press. I think in a marriage, it's super important to have this united front to everybody that's on the outside of that marriage, but then on the inside to have this wide open spectrum that you can have differences in opinion. Like, for example, my wife, we just had our 10-year wedding anniversary, actually, of 2 kids. She is not a full-on, super leftist person, but she's a lot more left than I am. And I actually love her for it because it balances out my law and order, don't tread on me Texas style with all of her, extra empathy and compassion. And so what I want to know is how you and Bobby keep that balance where you can have differences of opinions on political stuff, but still have a united front to everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's good to... listen to each other. Why do you feel like that? That's where we start. Where it's because if you're just mad, that's where it starts and ends for some people. Where you're just mad that the other person thinks differently, and it's like I'm not going to listen to you. So we're pretty good about listening to each other and saying, okay, I'm going to calmly listen to you. Tell me why, and then. Sometimes for me more than him, he's, I will say, I need a minute with this information before I give an answer or tell you how I feel about it because I need to process it before. So I'm not just like snapping back or something saying you're wrong, that's ridiculous, or whatever. So I think you kind of have to have boundaries,
right? Because I know a lot of couples that they're both very much on the same side of the political spectrum in that couple, and that works for a lot of people. But I actually really like the fact that my wife can question a lot of the things that I want to believe in, that she comes at it from a whole different angle. Because again, she's not a super leftist, but she is definitely, she has that empathy for a lot of people that they really attribute to people that are lean a bit more liberal. And I like it. I actually like it. I really do like it. I feel like it challenges me and makes me think of things much better than if we were both just a hardcore right-wing couple and we only, stayed in this bubble.
Yeah. I think Bobby and I have a lot of that going on where I'm like, let's think about how people are going to feel about this. He's like, oh, there's no feelings in science. It's like, okay. No, he doesn't say that, but yeah.
But I'm thinking about how weird your life course has been, in the sense that how weird it must be for you.
Yeah.
I was looking at this picture of you with Richard Gere and you with Robin Williams, and you comment in the book like, "What's happening?" And you started in Florida and you're out here bartending and stuff. And the Groundlings, which is a great move. And things start happening. And all of a sudden you're a Kennedy.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's the part that's like.
That's the part where we were like, huh.
That's the part where I go, that's got to be weird. It's one thing to have all this accomplishment and it's kind of weird it happens.
You kind of see it.
But then now you're a part of history. And it's like, you were hanging out with Ethel Kennedy,
Yeah, that's true.
You're in Hyannisport.
Yeah, that's
true. You're in history. That's what that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean necessarily because your hustband's HHS secretary, you're making history.
Right.
I mean, you were engaged with the historical
American history. That this is a historical family.
I mean, and you comment throughout the book like, "What's happening? It's weird." But you didn't say that about this part. That's where I was like, "This is the weirdest part."
About the Kennedy part?
Yes.
That's so funny. That didn't seem that weird to me. I mean, and probably why, and I talked about it in the book too, is I had no ideas about the Kennedys. I did not grow up. We didn't grow up in our household like, think about the Kennedys.
Yes,
what would the Kennedys do?
Okay.
I want to dress like the Kennedys.
There wasn't a big political thing in your family either. Yeah.
No, I say there too that one time when I was pretty young, I asked my mom who she voted for, and she said, "That is nobody's business." I was like, "Oh,
I kind of like that."
I know. Let's get back to Cracklin' Rosie's way of thinking.
Cracklin' Rosie.
That's how I've always been. I just admitted that I voted for Trump. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
I think it's too late.
Yeah, Susan, I think that's over. It didn't matter in California anyway.
That's the point. That's the point. I said it doesn't matter who I vote for.
Yeah. So, well, do you have any questions for me? Because I geeked out pretty good here. And
I've loved talking to you. I really loved talking to you.
And I love the book, and I love spending time with it. And it's like spending time with you, this book. And I think that's what you're kind of going for.
Yeah, I wanted to feel like I'm telling a friend.
Yeah.
Can you believe this happened?
Yes, that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like.
There are moments where you're just you're right, because there are moments where I just take a second and ask myself, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And then, no, it's funny that you say that it was marrying the Kennedys, because that did not feel like for me.
I noticed that you didn't comment on that. That's the part. Like if you look at the full arc, it's like
you're like that part.
Would not have. If somebody were writing a screenplay about your life, they wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't.
They'd stop with the Larry stuff. Probably.
Yeah, and be like
and the Robin Williams and
the Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was the running for president part.
Oh, by the way, I remember you saying something that was not in your book. I don't think it was here. I must have seen you on another interview show where they were like, "Well, how do you feel about him running for president?" And you were just like, not my idea, not great, but
I'm with you.
I want him to do his thing. And he wants to do his thing. He should do his thing.
Yeah. I have not been sitting around like, gosh, I'd love to be first lady.
But you also weren't expressing resentment or anything at him having done so. You're just like, I see how good he is at this, and I want him to do his thing, and it's a lot, and it's a lot.
It's a lot. Let's not lie. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course. I mean, talk about regrets. That would have been who wants that regret to tell your husband or your spouse, I do not want you to do the thing that you think you need to do right now.
That would be me, though.
She's already done that a couple
times. I'm very honest about it.
You would be a rock singer right now.
People come around for Congress and governor because
They
want
we're trying to
to run
solve
for
problems in
governor.
California.
Right.
We got to solve a problem, and I'm like, we do. I got to do something. And
They wanted me to
so I'm
start
sort of
raising
open
money
to things, even though I don't want to.
Yeah.
And she goes, no.
And then I said yes because I was so pissed at Newsom that week. And then I said no again. And then
it's a life change.
Yeah, I mean, I get that
you would be good at it.
You're a public servant and you have to give your life over to that. And I just think in our life right now where we are, we need to do some more stuff. He needs to have his voice out there and do it in a way that he can talk to both
about
sides.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah,
that's important too. Actually, when I met Bobby, I asked him, I said, you've never thought about going into politics? And he said, no, I'm an environmental attorney. And it's nice not having to be beholden to a corporation, a company, even in government, it's hard to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish because other forces are involved.
Yes.
So I was like, great, I love that. Never have to worry about you going into politics.
Yeah.
Woo.
Okay, I have a question.
Oh,
And because I really admired your interview on The View. And Drew does Gutfeld all the time. And, they really talk shit about them all the time. But,
and let's remember, I've done The View 50 times.
right.
Sure.
No,
And Jenny McCarthy, you forget, used to be one of the hosts.
used to be a darling on The View.
Yeah, used to be all the time.
He's now not. But, and it's okay because.
Would you go on, or they
go on
they
anything.
wouldn't have you?
But I want
they
to
would
know
have me.
how it felt walking into the lion's den, because they were all very appropriate with you. It seemed in the clips that I saw, like they looked like they were actually listening to you because they admire you. You're all actors and they admire you and everything. But what does that feel like now going into that? Because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah. It was, I feel like I know a lot more clearly now, just as far as Bobby is concerned and what Bobby does and what some of the misconceptions about him are. So I know what those are, and I know now how to address them. So I didn't feel like I needed to.
What are they? Just because I have to address them too once in a while.
Well, for one,
Yeah.
because when I went to his Senate hearings, the senators were coming at him saying, "You are not a doctor."
Yeah.
They still say that.
Yeah.
And
I can't think of an HHS secretary that was a doctor. There's one in the last
there were
20
only
years.
3.
Yeah.
There were only 3.
Yeah.
And none of them were when there was a Democrat
Right.
president.
Yeah.
So it's never been a requirement. It's unusual for one to be a doctor. So, but when I'm sitting there looking at these senators coming at him saying, "You're not a doctor," like it's a bad thing and, accusatory. And it's, so then when I go home and do my research and I'm looking at them and I'm looking at, this person was an economist, this person was a governor, this person was a politician. It's like, wow, Bobby's a lot more qualified than almost all of the people on that
there
list.
was only one senator that had something important to talk about, and that was Rhode Island. He was talking about the end of life care and the expense of end of life.
Yes.
And I was like,
remember
that is a valid thing.
Yes.
And that he is bringing up an important topic, and he did it in a collaborative way.
Yes.
I'm like, go towards that guy.
Yes.
That guy knows what he's saying. The rest of them are just bullshitting politicians.
No, they just want, they want
the headline. They
very
want the-
theatrical. They want to get there. So it's things like that. That's a misconception that people feel like he's not qualified because he's not a doctor. That is false.
Well, what he does well, I'm going to come to, because I come to his defense frequently too.
Yeah.
He knows how to read scientific literature.
Yes.
And that is a very important skill.
Yes.
And he's familiar with the landscape, with the literature. And so,
Good reader.
Yes. And that's what
it's a certain skill though, reading scientific literature.
And because he has been involved in so many lawsuits
Correct.
where it is complicated. It's complicated that there are toxins in a water supply, or that, Monsanto with Roundup.
Yep.
There's a lot of science involved in that, to be able to prove that a corporation was wrong, that they did it, they knowingly did it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of science involved, and he does know how to read that. And that is part of his background. That's why The View, when they come at me saying he's the least qualified, it's like, actually, he's not. And here's why. So it's the things like that. And also, it's nice that he's been in office for long enough to have really accomplished some great things that everyone should be happy about. I don't know how anybody, the women on The View, Americans, who is not happy about having petroleum-based food dyes taken out of the food supply, having some of these toxic ingredients taken out of food dyes. Operation Stork, is that what they call it? Where they're focusing on
fertility,
baby formulas, and getting toxins out of baby formulas. But fertility. IVF just came up, and the president just said we are lowering the prices. So who Is it
$50 billion for rural hospitals. And the Democrats are trying to take that away as part of this shutdown.
Well,
that's shocking.
It's part
to
of
me.
the narrative. So they'll say, well, you're taking it away in this way. And then, the Republicans will say, well, we're giving $50 billion this way. But it's not, it's not a conversation.
Ugh.
But
gross.
so the long answer is, I felt good going into that interview, and I felt like it's okay. Whatever they ask me, they can ask me, and I did appreciate. It was funny because at the end, Whoopi said, "Will you come back again?" And I said, "Really? Like, I can't wait." But they were, they clearly had questions they wanted to ask me, and sometimes they didn't like the answer. Oh, just like vaccines. And, when I said, there's a vaccine injury compensation program.
CSIP.
Yeah, that's 5 point. Well, that's actually just for
PrEP. That's through the PrEP Act. You're talking about the VAERS stuff.
I'm talking about the vaccine injury compensation program.
Yeah.
What I do want to say, because I didn't know this at the time when I was on The View, because Whoopi said, is that only for COVID vaccines? So anybody who's been injured by a vaccine. And
you took shit for not knowing all that too.
No. I said, I think so, but I don't know. But now I know that doesn't even include COVID vaccines.
Right.
There's a different program for COVID vaccine injuries. So they've paid out $5.4 billion in vaccine injuries, and that's not including COVID injuries. So that's another program that I'll learn more about. And then the next time I talk to him.
You have a lot to learn from all these things.
Aaron Series got all of that stuff.
Oh, Aaron Series.
So he can tell you about it.
Oh, yeah. He is. Yeah. He's got it all. He knows what
he's working with Bobby closely, or they should be working together, it seems to me.
I mean, I think listen, Bobby has a lot going on.
Yeah.
Though I don't see Aaron all the time. I see him every now and then, but I'm sure Bobby's working with him and talking to him.
They're just as long as they're aware of each other.
About doctors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When people say you're not a medical doctor, you don't have the right to talk about something. There are a lot of medical doctors who only know what they do in medicine. They're not able to grasp all these things.
I want to refine it even more. They're either in their narrow field of medicine,
right,
or they're not practicing medicine,
right,
or never practiced medicine.
Right.
So just being a physician is not quite enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And they also are too sensitive and they won't talk. And
they're scared.
Like I didn't want Drew to be governor of California because I knew that everything would freak him out.
It's true.
He's got a lot of Larry David in him. Okay? I've told you that before.
Oh, this could be a full insult episode.
It's not going to be fun after the show. Honey, all this stuff.
We need to talk.
I'm trying to have fun, okay?
Full insults. Listen, you've been very generous with your time.
Thank you
and so
much.
has the audience. So on behalf of Cheryl, go get her book. There it is, a full screen. Here it is here. You see, I had a great time with it. You will have a great time with it too. If you like Cheryl, you will like the book. It's that simple. And I feel like I jumped around kind of because I was fanboying, but also because I don't want to give away the full arc, because you really do a good job of starting at the beginning.
Thank you.
And in Florida and with your family and then getting out here. And I just didn't know all this, of course. I mean, you never know somebody's origin story until you find it. It's a wonderful story. And as I said, it ends up with being a candidate. It's crazy.
It ends up being a candidate. I know.
I ends up in Hyannisport. I mean, what the hell?
No, the people are like, why did you change your name? It's the moment you got married. And it's like, well, I made my name as a Hines. It's like, I don't need to change it. Crazy life.
Yes, it is. But it's been good. And you're expressed a lot of gratitude also. And as I said, there's been lots of loss and things in there that, that is important for all of us. I mean, it's just part of the human experience.
Yeah.
Is that loss and grief.
Did I say Harry David?
No, you said Larry David.
I did. Okay.
Okay, good. You insulted me enough. Don't worry. Your insults they landed. Don't worry.
They're laughing at
free
the joke.
And clear.
They're laughing at the joke, not telling me that I used the wrong name. So I'm old, so I sometimes get things mixed up.
I didn't hear Harry.
I did not. I heard Larry David. But who knows? I might have superimposed Larry in my head. Okay, but we'll let you go. And we've kept you well into the rush hour time, which makes me feel guilty. And
It's all good.
But we appreciate you being here very, very much.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the book.
Huge fan.
Is there anything else we missed? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, you covered it all. And
Good.
I thank you for reading it. I really thank you for reading
Well,
it.
I not only do I try to read stuff, oftentimes I end up reading the books after I talk to the guest, which is sort of more to my benefit because I then know what I want to look for, what I'm reading about. But in your case, I was already angry that people didn't seem to be paying attention to the book.
Yeah.
And I thought, I bet this book is really good. And it was. And so I wanted to give it its full due. And
Thank
so
You want to
hopefully-
give a little shout out to the MAHA organization that you guys do that. You have
Wednesday
a
thing?
weekly meeting that Kaleb produces, my
Oh,
producer.
I don't know if Cheryl knows about that. Kaleb, maybe you want to mention it.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
Caleb
on.
mentioned
She's
it.
on sometimes. Yeah, I just recently, I guess the last 3 episodes, I've been producing the MAHA Action Media Hub. It happens weekly on Wednesdays, and it's a great call. Yesterday we had all sorts of people. We had everyone from Dr. Oz, Dr. Redfield. We had Russell Brand, of course, Tony Lyons. Like just a list. I think there were 13 speakers on yesterday's. So do go and look it up. It's mahaaction.com.
Yeah, and it's great because you. I don't want to step on your. Say the website again.
It's mahaaction.com.
Yeah, but it is really great because you do hear from different voices about what we've accomplished, what we're working on, what if there's a call to action, what you need to do, what you can talk about. But it's pretty fun. We have some interesting personalities on there.
And you have Oz on there once in a while. And he's another guy I have to defend all the time, too, because people do not understand who that man is.
I know.
He was the chairman, the head of the cardiovascular surgery department at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. That is top.
A renowned surgeon.
Yeah, for years. And then went on and did something else.
Yes, and then people.
Then you're terrible.
Yes.
How dare you?
People.
So, So, any event, Kaleb, want to throw up, we have Redfield coming in here, I think, Tuesday. He's making the round for some reason. I wonder what's going on. Is he writing a book himself? Or Larry Elder, who created Dave Rubin, Redfield, Salty Cracker in an early show. Chloe Carmichael's a psychologist trying to free up psychology training. You'd be amazed what's going on in psychological schooling. It's
Scary or good?
scary. Essentially, the conceit that has captured a lot of psychology training is if you just could figure out how colonizers are abusing you or exploiting you, then all your psychological problems would go away.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So someone's
not-
definitely abusing.
And so we're not teaching psychology, we're teaching some sort of weird anthropology. But anyway, we will get
Kind of
into all
nerdy
to
that.
over
watch
here
that.
when you're not around. You have to come back though.
I'm gonna
keep
come
it light.
back.
Yeah, and also if he runs for president again, I'm voting for you.
Oh, is he thinking about doing
No.
that? I think
know.
he was so
But-
happy doing
okay,
this.
then I will pray for you that it doesn't happen. But
Listen, he has no intention of running.
So let me give you some more on Cheryl. Her Cheryl Hines on X, waterkeeper.org. Tell them about that.
Well, I love Waterkeeper. They protect waterways around the world, make sure big corporations aren't polluting waters, and that we have clean, drinkable water.
I did
Clean
not
up the
mention
Hudson.
cerebral palsy in that whole story. There's a big story there that broke my heart, that whole part.
Hard.
That one got through to you too.
Yeah.
You exposed a little more, and that is UCPCFL.
Yes. So that's United Cerebral Palsy of Florida. That's my biggest connection, but I love UCP, across the nation. Any UCP can get involved with. It's great.
People have grave misconceptions about cerebral palsy. For the most part, is just motor dysfunction. It has nothing to do with what the person's experiencing or who they are or what their intellect is, but people recoil in weird ways because of it.
And think that they are not capable of more than they are.
Yep. What's that, Susan? Okay, we're going to get going. We got to get the wide shot back once more.
cord went out.
Let's see if we can get it, and we'll wave goodbye at this.
Okay, hold on. Oh,
There it is. Okay, that camera. Two of us. Cheryl, thank you for being here.
It's for
Thank
They're
you.
still not going to give it to us. We're going to go
Okay.
this way.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for Curb.
Family business.
And
I love
Thank
it.
you for coming all the way out here.
Thank you.
And hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thanks so
everybody.
much. Well,
Ask Dr. Drew is produced by Kaleb Nation and Susan Pinsky. Emily Barsh is our content producer. As a reminder, the discussions here are not a substitute for medical care, diagnosis, or treatment. This show is intended for educational and informational purposes only. I am a licensed physician, but I am not a replacement for your personal doctor, and I am not practicing medicine here. Always remember that our understanding of medicine and science is constantly evolving. Though my opinion is based on the information that is available to me today, some of the contents of this show could be outdated in the future. Be sure to check with trusted resources in case any of the information has been updated since this was published. If you or someone you know is in immediate danger, don't call me, call 911. If you're feeling hopeless or suicidal, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. You can find more of my recommended organizations and helpful resources at drdrew.com/help.